Education requires investment, both capitals and human resources. Instructional design in education is a complex process and asks for cooperation of many stakeholders, such as school board member, principal. Many of them don't have opportunity to go thoroughly observe and conduct the research as detailed as the frontline instructors. To help the stakeholders to compare the benefits of all options of instructional design approach and determine what projects could receive the funding, they need a tool to simplify the process. Returns on investment or ROI is one of the most useful tools. What is returns on investment? Returns on investment is a concept borrowed from business majors. The returns on investment is a ratio between the net income over a period and investment cost results from an investment of some resources at one point of time. Investotopias. The formulas for ROI calculating is the current values of investments minus the cost of investment and divide the result to the cost of investment. If we want to use the percentage, we will multiply the results with 100. Returns on investment is vitality, simplicity, and important ratios due to its intuitive representations of the rudimentary scales of investment profitability. Returns on investment can be used to guide the decision-making process by briefly consolidating all the calculating in a single numbers. If the ROI is positive, this means the investments make profit. The bigger the positive numbers, the better in most cases. If returns on investment in negative zone, that means the investment lost money or investing capitals. With the effectiveness of ROI to show the profitability or the benefits of projects, this ratio usually used to compare two or more alternative investment options. However, when we use returns on investment in education, the simplicities of returns on investments will become one of the most critical downfall of the ratios. When calculating the returns on investment, the first and foremost elements we have to determine how to measure is how to measure the input, the output values. The inputs can be laid out and relatively straightforward and calculationals, such as investment on equipment, training funding, human resources, staffing, etc. However, the output values is sometimes hard to measuring correctly, especially in education. In education, the instructional design can be considered as the input values of investments. The output values of the results of the instructional process is the results of the instructional process. The output values is the values of the results of the learning process. To measure it, we can look at the models built by Drs. Kirkpatrick to determine the values of the outputs in education. As we see in the slide, the Kirkpatrick mode is included by 4 levels. The first level is the simplest one, is the reactions. Did the learners enjoy the trainings? The next one will be the learning. did the learning transfers occurs. The third level is the impact. Did the trainer change behavior? That means they absorb the training, they use it. And the last level is the result. Did the training influence performance? That means can the learners apply what they learn to real problems or solve the problems correctly using what they have learned? To put a one step further, to calculate the benefits of the instructional design or the values of the instructional design, Dr. Philip have refined the mode of Dr. Kirtland by adding two more steps. The first one is we can call it level 0. It's the inputs, development solutions, and the last one is calculating the returns on investment and use that one to decide the benefits of each projects. As we can see in these diagrams, the Kirkpatrick mode is at the center, the bedrock of the Philip mode. The inputs in the front is the investments from the process of instructional design, and the last one is calculate the effective of the processor design or the IOE on the design. However, to calculating the results of the design process is not a simple thing. We have to face a lot of challenging. The first one is recognize the challenging identities, the intangible benefits, and convert data to many values or something we can measure. First, in real-life scenarios and problems, not all levels of evaluations are always required. For example, many mandatory trainings or learning have to be taught no matter what the ROI number is. On the other hand, compliance trainings is essential to evaluate that the trainees or the learners are retained information and understand the learning content applications. The second challenge is that lack of the reliable quantitative metrics to measuring the result, such as the Kurland's most first level, the reaction level, or behavior level. Second, third is identity's intangible values. ROI of education should be seen as a social returns on investment or as ROI. The intangibles benefits of is a critical value for any education process. The intangible values is sub-data. Sub-data is usually subjective. Brings subjective values into some materialized values such as money or some measurable metrics is really hard. The chart above is show you one simple example how to transfer intangible value into something concrete, something we can measure, such as money. When we can determine the output values and convert it to relative dollar values or equivalent values with the input investments, we can calculating the ROI of the instructional approach. The instructional design could contribute the input value for our investment. The valuations output would provide the prospective values of the approach. From the values, we can calculate the ROIs using the formulas on the first line. That is, the monies are the values of the projects as one period of time minus the values of investment divided by the values of investment. The evaluation process value would also help to determine the 20% of the Pareto principle 20-80 ratios when we choosing the centers of gravity in their instructional design. Instructional designs and the evaluation process cannot be looking at separate things. They have to be looked at the two sides of one coin and have to reflect each other's. At that time, please ask the questions and consult the list of reference in the last slide. Thank you.